This is The Happiness Blueprint, the podcast where we uncover how people build happier lives.
Awesome, friends. Welcome back to the Happiness Blueprint podcast. I'm here with Bridgewater State, friends. Thanks for coming and joining us. Would you mind to introduce yourselves to the podcast?
I'm Diego. I do spring traditions events. So usually the big events that everyone expects to happen, that's usually my job.
My name is Max. I'm the digital marketing coordinator for Program Council. I also help run the school's social media accounts.
Awesome.
Through my official title is the digital content specialist, and I also do Kate Montescalco's social media editing for her brand Baseball for Baddies.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What a brand name. Okay, that was what
She is awesome. She does a whole bunch of Major League Baseball content. And
that's incredible. Okay.
I love working with her. She's awesome.
Very cool. Social media, your home, that's something that's most of what you're working on?
Yeah, that's where I mainly live, is like the social media world. I'm trying to branch out. This is why I came to this conference, to try to branch out and find different avenues of ways to market, because I find myself mainly on social media a lot, and I want to branch out to like that physical marketing or like the social marketing where you get like text messages or like emails or stuff like that.
Yes. And Diego, are you also involved in the marketing side of it, or what role, what aspect of the events are you most involved with?
Usually just like planning, like one of the events that's happening is the Spring Spectacular. Imagine basically marketplace with rides, vendors, stuff to sell out. Usually the events that people expected, like a homecoming, stuff like our drag show, we're doing that soon, and other stuff like that. So usually the stuff like you expect to see, like everyone talk about it. You're a senior who went here a few years ago, said, oh yeah, I love the drag show, I love the Spring Spectacular, I love the other stuff.
That community aspect, I think, is the key to all these events that we're putting on. This idea of bringing people together. I think Baseball for Baddies is the one example I'll come back to here. It's like baseball is generally thought of as a male-dominated sport. It sounds like this is a way to include women in that avenue. Am I understanding the name here correctly?
Yeah, that's what I love about that brand, is that it's taking a lot of the female audiences, the younger audiences, and also the casual fans, and merging it into one and creating the cohesive and like inclusive place where people can talk about baseball and not really be as subjected to different opinions by a male audience. Even though I am a male and have been a big baseball fan throughout my life. Thanks, Dad. Go Sox. And it just came to me naturally because I reached out and then applied for her social media editing role, and it kind of happened really quickly, and I was really appreciative to getting that quickly. It started at in like the summer going into last year, and I'm so thankful for that role.
That's incredible. Yeah, I think it's beautiful to be bringing so many different communities together. That seems like the goal of events, and I think the goal of making people happy here is that like that is why we put on events. That is why we want to build communities, to increase happiness on campus. That's kind of where it all funnels back to here. How are you fostering that on campus? Like, what are some of the things you're trying to do to build these communities on campus so that people are happier, that Bridgewater feels more like a home and less of just like a place where you come to study and hopefully pass finals at the end of the semester?
Collabs, dude, a bunch of collabs. We recently did, there's the Legacy Center, which is for a lot of Black and people of color, and we go there. I like going there. So recently we did, we helped fund their Black History Month event. It was nice. We had some speakers. We had the mayor of Brockton, which is from a little close by, Bridgewater. When we had we had him speak. We had our president, Fred Clark, love you, Fred. We had him speak about it. So we usually, if we're not making the events, we usually help fund like smaller student organizations to do it, just to like build that relationship, like to like know that we got you and you got us.
Yes. And Max, what motivates you to work on this project? I assume, what Diego mentioned is a powerful way about building community, but what motivates you? Why is it such a powerful thing for you to be a part of?
It motivates me because the process of going through coming up with content or searching the idea, editing, post-production, all that stuff, it's difficult. It's hard to do, and I love doing difficult things. I like challenging myself or pushing myself to the limits where it makes me want to scream and cry at night. My mindset is I want to go back to my dorm room at the end of the day tired, but like a happy tired. I want to go back to my dorm room and feel like I want to give up, but I know I don't want to give up because I am that person that's relentless and wants to keep working. It's that process that wants to keep me going, and it makes me happy because it could be different. It could be different from day to day. I could be recording a video one day, or I could be shooting photo, or I could be editing in my office at whatever time of the night. I could be up until 2 a.m. editing. I could just say, screw it. I don't want to edit anymore. I just want to go to bed. I want to treat myself nicely. it's a different varying role, and I think that's what has helped me out a lot throughout my content creation years, because I started very small working on films at my Ice Film Festival, and then it kind of grew into more content creation based, and I'm really grateful for like how that change happened, because I've met so many great people, and I can't take it for granted.
That's incredible. Yeah, I think you're right that it is important to do hard things, if they routinely do hard things, where that is where growth is found, right? I would love to believe that growth happens over time and I can be happy and comfortable and safe, and that's not realistic here, right? We have to be willing to struggle a little, to suffer a little, to have those late nights, to go through. Diego, is that kind of your same motivation putting out events? What motivates you to make people happy?
What motivates me? I guess just the opportunity to do this stuff. We did it was fun like doing a drag show last year. It was fun holding a carnival, holding a concert. That was fun. We did neon trees. We all wearing the same shirt.
Yeah.
But doing neon trees, what motivates me is like the ability to like have these conversations, the ability to talk to these people. We recently talked to a talent agency that holds like a bunch of people, like a bunch of comedians. And like if you told me 2 years ago that I would be talking to people like that and like building relationships with people like that, that would have motivated me for like the next 5 years.
Is it tough, as you talk about these people, I assume there are people with status, with some celebrity status or otherwise following, some kind of like public general respect that we all admiration pay towards them. Does that intimidate you? It's tough to feel comfortable in those rooms when you're with those bigger names?
Not really. It's just because like I don't like to overthink those things, because like I feel like showing that you're overthinking it might show something bad. But if you just like constantly you keep a cool composure, I doubt they'll really care about. Because a bunch of people like see celebrities as like a higher being. And so I generally think that like if you treat them chill, they'll treat you chill back, because they got no reason to be.
I found the same thing through camera work. It's given me this great freedom that everyone is just people. And you tend to meet people that we think have status, our favorite baseball player, whoever the starting pitcher of the Red Sox is in the Game 7 of the World Series. It's like, he's just a guy. Like, he is great at baseball. He is unbelievably talented as one thing. But he also still goes to bed at night and goes, was I good enough today? Did I do this right? And to me, it's like, obviously you did. You wouldn't have been on the mound if they didn't think you were good enough.
No.
But everyone is just people, and that's been a really humbling thing. I think it also underscores why it's so important to help make people happy and try and make people happy. It's because everyone's struggling, whether they are at the top of the pedestal or with us in the mud of society here. Why do you think it's so important to bring this happiness to Bridgewater State?
I think it's important because we live in a world where we are consuming with our phones, which is kind of ignorant for me to say, because I work with social media so much, and so much of my time is focused on, okay, how do I create content that makes people happy? I think it's getting away from our phones. Although you may see something like on social media saying like, hey, we have an event coming, come show out. It's important for us to put our phones away and really live in the moment. And that's something we kind of like tried to bring into this trip a lot more. Because I said like right before we left for the flight, I'm like, hey guys, can we like put our phones down while we go to dinner? Like I really want to have those conversations, but I'm the one that's recording and vlogging this entire trip. Like I'm going around with my DJI Osmo Pocket, and I'm like recording everything. I'm like, hey, what's up guys? Like, this is cool. And everyone's like, what are you doing? You've been recording so much. And I'm like, I want to capture everything. I want to make sure that this vlog is good. But I think stepping away and like getting out into the real world and using your eyes to see and feel and to smell what's around here is really making people happy. Is the true five, like, what are those, like feelings, or like the senses, five senses. It's like the five senses of like what feels real to you. And I think humans have adapted like that sixth sense of like being on your phone or being on your computer or your TV. And I think we should try to get away from that if we want to feel that real joy.
That's a really interesting point, that the most valuable thing that our phones bring us is when it takes us off of our phone. So the phone is great to find the concert, but the joy isn't going to the concert. It wasn't in seeing the market for the concert. And it's really interesting as we scroll through, it's like, listen, I love my favorite memes. I love my favorite streamers. Like, this is all great and fun. But I don't know if that's a lasting happiness, because that's happiness in the way that like M&M's make me happy. It's like, they taste great, but like my life isn't better because I had a pack of M&M's from one of his boots.
I think what was great for me was when I went to Coldplay this past summer. I was at the Affair night at Gillette Stadium.
Okay. Oh wow! Yes, hold him on. You're doing part of.
It was crazy to see. Oh my gosh, me and my best friend that went. We were like, shout out Liv, by the way. We were like, I don't know. Are we gonna see something at like 8 a.m. when I wake up for work the next morning about this?
Where are you?
And then sure enough, it popped up. They were having an affair. Holy crap! But they had like several moments in the show where to just put your phone down and just listen to the music and really feel the rhythm. Bruno Mars, even like his residency at Vegas, he talks about like, hey, put your phones away. Let's just enjoy the music. Let's just vibe together. Let's really live.
It's strange. I went to a show and they put our phone in like these bags. So
Oh, like the
keep your phone with you,
lock. Like I know what you're talking
but they're
about.
like
Yeah.
locked up, which scares me because I think I'm so used to like, what if there's an emergency? How am I gonna? And it was shocking to me. It's like I still have this device. Like, it's still on my person, and I'm panicking of like, what am I gonna do without this thing? And it really highlighted to me of like, there's a problem here. I've got to tighten up. I've got to find a way to be comfortable in my own skin with me without this escape my pocket. If I'm uncomfortable in the room, there's a lull between songs in the concert. Like, I got to find a way to just be okay here. Diego, is this something you're also aware of here? It's something you're aware of on the college campus? Like, how are you helping both yourself overcome this? And how are you helping students on Bridgewater State get out of this kind of rut that our society as a whole has found itself in?
Usually just like being really entertained, trying to like take the attention away from the phone, which is a monumental task to ask. But trying to what's the word? Be like crazy about it, not like insane, but try to be like the funniest you can be, and definitely retention. It would be great if like you like do an event, do XYZ, and then like you have people saying like, oh yeah, that one guy, he was funny, he was hilarious. That's like a lot of things I like to do, because like I doubt I'm gonna like do insane stuff. I'm not gonna be the next Michael Jackson and have like the millions of people from like the most smallest village know my name. But it's nice to like
when they see you.
yeah. But like I'll be happy if like I bring people back to like these events simply by just being me, like attracting them with my personality and whatnot.
This episode of the Happiness Blueprint podcast is brought to you by Vibarks. Goals, budgets, and KPIs can tell you what happened, but they don't tell you how people felt while doing the work. Happiness is the most important metric of all, and it needs a system. Vibarks is that system for prioritizing your mental health and tracking emotional metrics for individuals, teams, and even projects. Users submit a weekly 2-minute check-in online or in the app for metrics like happiness, stress, and utilization. Then, Vibarks processes that data into quantified metrics that help spot patterns, celebrate wins, and encourage support where needed. Personally, I loved using Vibarks with my team at GBM6. It felt like such a great way to check in with myself and make sure I'm hitting both my professional and my personal goals. I especially love that it asks me for 3 things that I'm happy about every week. During busy season, I find that things can feel a little chaotic and stressful, so this has felt like a really great tool to reframe my focus and make sure I'm aware of how many great things are happening around me, even in the most stressful moments. Vibarks is free forever for individuals, .edu teams, and .org teams. All other organizations can start with a 60-day free trial and then pay just $5 per user per month to build a healthier, happier, and more engaged workplace. Check out the link in our description to get started on your own journey towards a happier personal and professional life. Thank you to Vibarks for sponsoring today's episode. All right, back to the show. I think that is one of the society. Cell phones have done so much bad, and I think we can argue that. And I think one of the good things they've done is encourage people to be that. Where I think as we see the stars online, like the new era of stars are these like micro celebrities who are just so authentically themselves, and I guess as that thing grows, they can caricature of themselves, which is a slightly different conversation here. But it does mean that there's not 5 celebrities for us to love. Everyone could find some celebrity that feels like, that's a version of me I wish I was. And we're not going to be them, but if we can take 1 ounce of their charisma, of their lightheartedness, of whatever it is that attracts you to them, I think it's giving people like customized role models, which I think is a powerful thing. Like, we all need something to look forward to, right? We all need something to look ahead to, like, hopefully we're all aspiring to better ourselves. And that's hard to do if we don't have a North Star to align ourselves with, right? I think, and so I think finding these like micro celebrities, these little weathers, and again, it could be Mark Sugar, it could just be your video that you put on social media, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a big famous thing. It can just be anything. The content you're making online, like as you're writing vlogs, making Instagram stories, whatever the content it says itself. These little things can be North Stars that boost people up and give them something to look forward to. I think those are powerful gifts we can keep giving people here. What motivates you to keep like giving these gifts? So as you're working on these content, as you're like some of these 2 a.m. late night editings, you're working on an event that isn't quite going to plan, that something in the build-up isn't quite going how you hoped it would. What motivates you? How do you stay resilient in these moments?
I would have to say, because I am type 1 diabetic, I live day to day living with that, and I'm so grateful for those around me that have helped me throughout my life. My mom has been really caring and has really looked out for me and has really loved me and taken care of me as much as she could. And mind you, packing for this flight, torturous. To come here, it was torturous because she was like, make sure you have all these snacks and stuff. And I go through TSA and my entire thing of apple juice gets tagged. And I'm like, oh crap, this stinks. So I'm like, they're getting like hand searched and everything. It's all that. The gift of giving is so powerful because it can just continue to grow. Because once someone gives, they're going to want to give back because they want others to feel that feeling. And I think that's the biggest blessing in my life that I found, is that my mother has continued to show me the way that giving is more powerful than receiving. I think it's really special in this life and for everybody around us, is to treat life as it is a gift, because you are getting only a few opportunities to make success or to do certain things in life, or to, go to that show, go to that sporting event, go do a podcast like this one. You only get a certain amount of things in life that give you opportunities. And I think making people happy with gifting and showing them that we do care about you, we do want to hear your opinion and what you want, I think that's very key, especially in a role that I am.
I think you're right. And I think our own fragilities really expose us to our world. And I think as I reflect on my own journeys, it's like, sometimes I wish my health was picture perfect and everyone loved it. That's not realistic, right? Everyone's got their own quirk. Everyone's got their own battles they're bearing. And I think it can be easy to be down about those, but it's always also important to be grateful for the perspective it gives us and how much more beauty we can see in life when we know what the other sides of life can look like. Yeah, Dave, what motivates you to keep putting on events, keep making people happy on campus?
Really, it's spite. I feel like I gotta do it. I feel like if I don't, I'd rather be the winner who like did all that cool stuff than the loser who's like, that event was bad. I gotta do it. It's like, I have this opportunity to do it. Like, I'm in Ohio talking to a bunch of cool people. I gotta take this opportunity because like, what if someone else did it and did it better? I gotta do that.
I think there is that. I think it's like a healthy competitive spirit that's
right
relevant here.
Yeah.
We don't want to be competitive in the sense of like, I win, you lose. But there is like I want to outdo you. I think you can do this event. I think I can do it better. And here's how I can make more people happy than that. And I think that's an important, I find it myself important to like keep in check at times, but also a valuable thing of like, yeah, competition is good. It breeds better events, breeds more happy people. And that's an important thing.
I think that's my biggest go out there. I want to be better than you all the time. And I want to show you how I'm going to be better than you. It's also one of the more negative things that I think about myself is like, okay, maybe I do need to step back and think about what I'm actually doing and just take a breath for a second, not make everything so competitive. But I am grown up and raised in a very competitive household, and so that's just the way I run.
I'm the same. Yeah, I think I grew up playing sports. Of course, sports are inherently competitive. I want to get playing time, but that means you don't get playing time. I want to win the game. That means you lose the game. And these two things are always tied together. As I got into the camera and art, it had to be this thing of like, I can't compete against other photographers or videographers. I have to compete against me. I have to compete against what I was making yesterday and try and make it better today. And that has become a fulfilling journey. And I think an important one to be like, if I was competing against other artists, they would hate me. Like, that's not a sustainable way to build a community, to make people happy. That's
right.
Going to make this thing worse. I'm trying to make better.
Yeah.
But by flipping it onto the internal side, it was like, okay, now it is sustainable. And now I am benefiting people by competing against me. Because if I can make this thing better, it makes you look better. It makes your support system more happy.
Yeah.
And more people can benefit from that.
Yeah.
I think it's important piece, be flipping around constantly. Keeping in check for ourselves.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was going to say how it's a little bit of pressure, though, because, this is our student organization, Program Council. It's been around for, 50-ish years. So, everyone knows this is a thing. It's, one of the first, student organizations you hear about once you go to Bridgewater State. And so, doing all this crazy stuff, it's I don't want to be the person who did, the bad. I don't want to. We're Spring Spectacular was Spring Carnival, and it was just carnival rides. And so adapting that to having a flea market and whatnot is very pressure, because I'm essentially just jumping out of my uncomfortable zone, jumping out of my comfort zone. So it's scary to do that, especially with how people treat you. The second one bad thing happens, everyone stacks on top of it, and sometimes it's sometimes they just rightful hate, they might have said something terrible or whatnot, and other times it's they made a they didn't like who we got for our concert. They didn't like who we had for our vendors and whatnot. So it's a little bit of pressure just like maintaining what good we had for 50 years.
I think the key here I'm hearing you say is like the goal is to leave Bridgewater State better than we found.
Exactly.
Leave our communities better than we found it.
Yeah.
The only way to do that is by taking a chance.
Yeah.
And that requires vulnerability. And so then it's like, well, I'm scared I might make this thing worse than I found it if this doesn't go how I planned it.
Right.
And that's where that competitive spirit I think comes in, is like, this thing has to go better because I need it to go better because I want this place to be better than I thought. And if I don't succeed, then it might be worse, but that's scary. But if you don't take the chance at all, then it's worse than you found it, because if it's the same as it was 5 years ago, everything else has gotten better and you're still stuck in the same rut you're in. I think balancing that is a really challenging balance at times here.
Absolutely.
Two questions that I'd love to wrap up with you guys here. One of them is advice you would have for your past self. So talk a lot about growth, a lot about how we could find our own happiness here. And I think as we reflect on these things, sometimes there are challenges we went through in the past. And if we knew then what we know now, that challenge would have been a lot more manageable. But that's not realistic at times. And I think I have gained a lot of wisdom from hearing people reflect on that. And like the advice you give your past self often is advice that I think I need to hear nowadays. So I'm curious, what's some advice you would have for your past self?
Man, it's so deep because I just had like a nostalgia moment where like all my past memories have just come back, and
Sure.
it's like that one like edit like where you hear like the time traveling like like sound or whatever.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that I just thought of like right now is don't be afraid of saying no to things, especially when it could really hurt something personal or really like it could really affect you mentally. I really found myself in a weird spot in my life, like around sophomore year and of high school, and it was a really weird time for me. And I realized that I needed help, and I didn't really want to say no. Like I didn't want to say yes to therapy, but I was like, man, I don't need it. But then slowly after going and realizing that I did need help, is like, yeah, I needed these resources and I needed this help. I feel like not being afraid to say no has really kind of shaped my mindset too, because like I really wanted to say no to a lot of things in life, but I ended up saying yes, and it ended up hurting me in the long run. And if I were to go back and tell my past self, like, you shouldn't have done this, I feel like my life and like what events may have transpired may have been a little bit different for me, and how I could have shaped who I am today. Because I think of myself that as sort of like a mentor for other people, who or someone that they can go to and really ask for an opinion. And I really want that from other people, is to really think that like, hey, I am that support person. Like, hey, I can go to you if I need help. And so if I were to just tell myself, hey, you do need help, it's okay to say yes to some things, but also say no to things that can hurt you. I think that's what I would tell myself.
I think you're right, and thank you for sharing that. I think therapy is one of those taboo things I wish was more easily talked about. And I think you're right. It is a topic that we don't always want to talk about, and it is a personal thing. But I had the same experience. Like, I didn't think I needed it. I got into one session, went, boy, I'm in the right place. Turns out, yep, they were right.
I had one therapist that I got, and I was like, and she treated me with such respect, and like was able to let me be open with my thoughts. And I was like, oh yeah, I do need this. Like, yeah, I do need it. And I was really appreciative of that.
I think it's very dumb to think that on our first try of life, we're going to get it all right.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's like, there's nothing on the first try done right. That's just not how the first try works.
Like, I want to be right.
Yes.
Like, I want to be right all the time, and I like being right. Like, sometimes I'm not. And like, I have to learn that like, I need to be okay with it. Mm-hmm. And it's okay to be wrong about certain things.
And you alluded to setting boundaries there, of saying no to things if you want. I think boundaries is also like, what's acceptable for me? Is it acceptable for me to have this behavior that I'm not happy with? Is that acceptable? That's a boundary I need to set, but this behavior is not serving me. That's not a good thing. That's something I need to correct. And I think you're right to be on top of those things. I think it's a good lesson to learn while we're still young and have the chance to course correct versus being 65 and going, boy, did I wish I took a different path when I was younger. Awesome. Diego, what's some advice you'd have for your past self here?
Just do stuff. Who cares about embarrassment?
Yep.
Like, I think over COVID, I've like taught myself to like chill out and stuff and not be so energetic and excited for things. But as like getting done with high school and going to college, I just learned to have fun. Like, I recently bought myself a skateboard over Christmas, which is not a good idea when your state just snows constantly.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I wanted to do it because like it's something for me, and like, who cares what other people are gonna think? I can't be perfect on my first try. So like, if I have advice for like anyone watching this and to my past self, just do stuff. If you go through the embarrassment, I doubt you're gonna like get grinded up at the other side. Like embarrassment is like the worst thing when you're like in your early to mid-teens. But like once you like finally try to figure out who you are and how like you do things, if other people think you're stupid, who cares, dude? If you're not hurting or harming anyone, I think I'll be so fine if people think I was a hot dog.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think embarrassment is an important part of growth here. It's like, those are good stories. And I look back, like stories I can tell people, it's like a lot of them ended with me being the butt of the joke. A lot of them, it's like things where I thought I could be a skateboarder. Turns out I fell pretty bad and it wasn't quite for me. And that's okay. We learned. And I think it's important not just like, I don't think skateboarding is going to change your life. I think the act of doing things that you want to try will change your life. And skateboarding is one piece of that. And it's like, we're not going to be Tony Hawk. Most of us won't be Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk's the only Tony Hawk I can name since Tony Hawk, right?
God,
I guess
I wish it was Tony Hawk.
There's a couple skaters, sure, but like most people get on a skateboard. I think the important part is like you fall down. I think it's a very physical reminder of like, I'm going to jump down this one stair. And you're going to fall. And you're going to mess with the kickflip. And the board's going to fall out. You're going to miss all these things. And you're going to do it again. You're going to do it again. You're going to get on the board. And eventually you will land a kick. You will go down the stair. And that is like if I put my mind to it, this thing will work. Yeah. And I think these like life lessons of skateboarding are so profound in such important ways and such a practical, hands-on way to learn these lessons. I think it's so valuable.
Right, of course.
Beautiful, friends. Thank you for chatting with us. I appreciate you. Sorry, I have one last question for you that I almost forgot about here. We're having too much fun talking. Last question for you all. We talked a lot about events and putting on events. We're a happiness podcast with happiness company. Let us know one thing that makes you happy outside of it. So it could be a hobby you love doing, an activity, a place you love going, a food you love eating, just one thing that makes you happy. I'll put Max on the spot here first. So Diego, I'm going to put you on the spot first this time. Just to switch up the order here for a little bit. So yes, one thing that makes you happy.
One thing that makes me happy, when other people like laugh at my jokes. I know that's a tad bit self-centered. But like, when you like get a whole group laughing, when you're able to like truly communicate and like show your true self and things and show things that what you think is funny and other people are laughing, it's almost like addictive in a way, because like it knows that like it shows that you're safe in this environment, and it shows that like people like enjoy you. People like you're not a burden to them.
It's a vulnerability thing. I think whenever we're vulnerable and it gets reciprocated and they go, hey, you're safe here. And that's what comedy is, right? When I'm telling a joke, it's like, if you don't laugh, now I'm embarrassed. Going back to this, now I've made a jerk of myself in this moment. But when you laugh, it validates the chance that I took. It encourages me to take another chance, whether it's a social chance, whether it's a skateboarded chance. I think you're right. That's an important thing. Max, what makes you happy?
This is going to be like a really weird answer, but
sure.
Being able to cry.
Okay.
That's what makes me happy, because I feel like for the longest time, I felt like I was not able to cry, and that when I was younger, I was very emotional. I used to scream and cry all the time. And I felt like I had cried all my tears and that I couldn't really feel anything real anymore. And it just recently, I really felt the need that I needed to cry again. And just having those emotions like come back to me and having to feel something real, like, hey, this is making me emotional. Like, hey, this is something that I really am passionate about, and something that like gets me this way where I have the need to want to cry. It makes me very happy that it makes me happy to be able to cry again. And that's a weird thing to say. I feel like is a weird thing to say, but I love feeling a good cry, because I don't know who said it, but if you are able to smile, laugh, and cry in a single day, that's a good day. That's a really good day. And I feel like being able to do all those things recently has really been able to put me in better moods, to put me in better places, and just strive for better things. And I just love being here, man. I love this life that I'm living right now, and I love what I am doing. And I'm so happy to just be, like I said, being able to cry. It feels like super niche to say, but I just love this life, and I love what I'm doing.
It's so important to be present. And I think being present, we often think about is like soaking in the good moments and smelling the roses. I'm like, that is part of being present. Part of being present, acknowledging this isn't going my way. I don't like this right now. I am not happy right now. And that's a really important, powerful part of human existence. And I think there's you can't have the highs without the lows kind of cliche here. And I think you're right. That by acknowledging the lows, it makes you go, this isn't my favorite moment, but damn, the other moments have been pretty good. The rest of this is going pretty awesome. And if this is my low moment, that's okay. We're all allowed a low moment here. And it's powerful to be able to have, both of those and to make peace with both of those. I think it's really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing your time. Thanks for sharing your wisdom
Thank
with
you.
us here.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Coming out
This
to
is
chat, man.
awesome.
It's been the Happiness Blueprint, friends. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to The Happiness Blueprint. Powered by GBM6. It's about making people happy.